Ideal customer profile versus the current buyer profile. Should they always align? Is misalignment any good? If your ideal customer profile is in 100% alignment with your current buyer profile, it only means you're only focusing on your primary ICPs and you're probably not experimenting new ICPs, limiting your nonlinear growth. If your ICP is in 0% alignment with your current buyer profile, it means your ICP focus is broken. You're probably trying to build a product for everyone, which eventually will turn into a product for no one. Some misalignment between your ICP versus CBP is good. The misaligned area is where your growth potential comes from. That's where you can replicate the success you've had with your primary ICP into a few different ICPs. The misaligned section between the ICP and CBP indicates the audience that are interested in your product, but the audience that you have still not factored into as an ICP. Growth versus scale. Growth happens through the focused ICPs that you're going after. But the misalignment between your focused ICPs and CBPs indicate a potential new market that you're possibly missing on. These are audiences that are very interested in your product. And if you can focus your product roadmap and GTM motions to factor in these additional ICPs, that's where you start to replicate your initial success with a set of ICPs into multiple ICPs. And this must be an ongoing effort. Monitor your ICP versus CBP alignment, misalignment, weekly, monthly. This kind of gives you a pulse of the new audiences that could be interested in your product, but you're still not factored in them as ICP from your GTM motions perspective. So factoring that in and building GTM motions and also building product workflows that can cater into these new CBPs and considering them as your expansion ICPs will put you on a trajectory that you can always try and replicate your initial success with new set of ICPs. And hence, the growth kind of becomes nonlinear because you will have multiple ICPs that your product is penetrating into. And then if you focus on acquiring even a decent market share in each of these ICPs, it all adds up and results in a nonlinear growth. So the misalignment between your ICP and current buyer profile is actually not bad as long as it's not too much. Generally, about 10 to 20% of misalignment is good. That is the area that you need to consider as your growth focus. These are audiences that are interested in your product, but you have still not considered them as your ICP from a GTM and from a product evolution standpoint. Start measuring the alignment between your ICP and CBP, your ideal customer profile and your current buyer profiles. And then use the misaligned segment as your GPS pointer to focus on evolving markets, newer markets, hence replicating your initial success into multiple fragments that could potentially result in nonlinear growth. What is your SaaS story?